Minecraft Speedrunning Ranked, a competitive mod pack where two players race to beat the Ender Dragon on an identical Minecraft world. To win, you have to use every weapon available: sword, axe, TNT, beds, flint and steel, lava bucket. But what if you couldn't use any of them? What if the only weapon you could use was a bow? Okay, I know what you're thinking. Why is this guy doing the rec rap zoom? Okay, but what you're actually probably thinking is, don't speedrunners normally use a bow? Is it that hard to win a ranked game by only using a bow? Yes it is. See, I don't just mean using a bow in only the Ender Dragon fight. I mean, I can't deal any damage to anything throughout the entire run unless it's with a bow. If I come across an enemy before I have a bow, I would just have to run. And if I need to kill it to progress, I have to waste precious time and arrows on it. Which is the next problem: arrows. Getting arrows takes time, and I don't have time to get infinity. Meaning I'm going to have to save every single arrow I can if I want to have enough to kill the Ender Dragon at the end of the run. Now this game was absolutely insane, but not just from my perspective. I'm also going to be showing you some of the tragedies that befall my opponent during this crazy run. My opponent? Gamma YT. I hit them with the good luck of fun. Oh no, I've been compromised. I deflect with the colon P. They had me dead to rights. So it's a village overworld, but you might notice that there is no blacksmith. That's because it is a Toolsmith seed, meaning the iron will be inside this chest. Unfortunately, there is only 4 iron, and you need 7 iron to enter the nether. In a normal run, you would simply kill the iron golem, but I didn't have a bow yet, let alone the 13 hours it would take to kill an iron golem. Fortunately for me, there was a temple I spotted earlier, so I ran over, praying that this would have a couple pieces of iron. The temple had even better loot than I expected. 4 iron, 18 gold, and 6 string. It was absolutely perfect. Unfortunately, my opponent was not having the same luck. The Toolsmith incident. It's time for some Minecraft speedrunning lore with Professor Knight. The Toolsmith incident is one of the most legendary events to have occurred. So what happened? Well, nearly exactly a year ago, the grand finals of the Season 5 ranked playoff was happening, between Dougal and Hax, 2 of the most talented players to ever touch Minecraft speedrunning. The second game was played on a village seed. However, unlike normal village seeds, there was no blacksmith. Instead, the iron was located in the Toolsmith house. But both of these pro runners completely missed the house, despite it being right in front of them for such a long period of time. There was a total of 8 times when they returned to the overworld only to miss this legendary building every single time. Similarly, in my game, Gamma had also missed the Toolsmith, even running into the lower part of it where there is no chest. But eventually Gamma did find the Toolsmith, so in that regard, my opponent can be considered to be even better than 2 of the greatest runners of all time. Lore break over, it's back to bow only. I make the tools I will need: iron pickaxe, gold shovel, and a stone axe for purely woodcutting purposes. And the true star of the show, a bow. I organize my inventory and throw out the excess items. Getting the string from the temple meant I could make a bow here, but I still don't have any arrows, so unfortunately I still have no way to deal damage yet, which makes my next goal clear: get arrows. I run to the nearest river to look for gravel. I need flint to help me get arrows, but not in the normal way. Killing chickens to get feathers is impossible, as I don't have any way to deal damage to them without cheating the challenge. So I have to find a different way to get arrows, and the key lies with villagers. I craft a composter and a Fletcher table. Wait a second, that's a smithing table, not a Fletcher's table. Don't do it, no! Alas, the power of the Toolsmith mind controlled me into making a smithing table. A price I will pay later. I make the Fletcher's table now and begin trading with the villagers. The Fletcher has a trade where you can get 16 arrows for 1 emerald. While getting 48 arrows might seem like a lot, I knew that it was not nearly enough to beat this challenge. So I had mined hay bales and crushed them to wheat, to trade with a farmer villager to secure more emeralds. 2 stacks in 16 hours. I really wanted 3 stacks from this, so hopefully I can find some more in the Bastion. I head over to this lava pool to start building my portal. Now, because I was manipulated into using my iron on a smithing table earlier, I didn't have a flint and steel, so I had to wait for the lava to woodlight the nether portal. Now I just have to find a oh wait, it's right there. The gold is already in sight. I begin to tower up and put the bow in my hopper. I finally had a weapon and the arrows to use it if I needed. I spotted a ghast, and although I already wanted to test my sniper skills, I couldn't afford to waste arrows, so I lower my render distance, as if you can't see your problems, they simply don't exist. I mine up all the gold blocks and begin to root the Bastion. I leave 1 gold block intact before running along the bridge of the Bastion. I'm doing quite a simple route where you tower up between these 2 pieces of lava so you can gather all the piglins on the right side of the Bastion. I create a trading hole down these stairs and place and break a gold block to aggravate all the piglins. In a previous attempt at bow only, I had actually got housing, and in the housing Bastion to aggro the piglins, you can punch a piglin at the top to lure them down, which I did instinctively, and I only realized as I was watching back over the VOD that I had broken one of the key rules of the challenge. However, in this run, I had not done so, and eventually the last stubborn piglin falls into the hole. I start to adjust my render distance and open up my pie graph. See, there is this advanced speedrunning strategy, where by altering your render distance and crossing over chunk borders, you can determine exactly how far and what direction the nether fortress is. Or I could have just looked up from my pie chart and seen the nether fortress right in front of me. I collect some of my trades before I begin to loot the chests in the Bastion. I'm mostly hoping for arrows, and while these first 2 chests didn't have a lot, the other side had a hefty chunk of spectral arrows. I collect the last of my trades and I start heading towards the fortress. As I am hunting for the blaze spawner, I finally get the chance to use my bow. I spot 2 blazes and 2 rogue skeletons, and I show them who the real bow-only player is. No rods off those blazes, but I spot another 2 here and earn myself 2 rods. I went 6 for 12, which is perfectly average but still consumed a lot of arrows. I head to the overworld to throw my 2 eyes of ender to locate the stronghold. I have to fend off this pesky spider, but I end up getting a 90% reading on a location. When I enter the portal, I end up on the surface. Normally this is disappointing, however, as I know the future, I am ever grateful for this portal. And in the meantime, it allowed me to spot this village, acquire some food, and sleep through the night. I throw another eye between chunk borders to confirm the correct chunk and begin to dig down. But wait, why do I hear boss music? Before I show you the legendary battle between myself and this godforsaken stronghold, let's take a moment to introduce you to my opponent's struggles. When we last saw Gamma, they had successfully found the Toolsmith. From there, they raided the temple, gathered their tools, and entered the nether before me. They completed the fabled 2-hole piglin trading setup before leaving the Bastion with a 10-second lead. Gamma used dirt blocks to traverse across the soul sand, then used a pearl to cross this large gap. Then, taking after me, decided to build up and get knocked back down again. After moving forward, no sign of the fortress in sight, Gamma throws another pearl, unfortunately clipping this tree and falling to their death. Sorta reminds me of someone else. But Gamma is not a quitter, and so begins to break down trees and prepare to acquire their stuff again. This time, Gamma can't pearl across the gap, and is forced to bridge across. Yep. The skeleton had the perfect hiding spot to snipe Gamma at the worst moment. But Gamma wouldn't back down from a fight. After crafting new tools and gathering some more blocks, they set out again, only to face off against 2 guards on the bridge. After reflecting both of them, Gamma is able to cross safely, only to find another skeleton waiting for them. Reborn once more, Gamma crosses the gap without any problems. At last they can get their items. Unfortunately, they miss the items. And what Gamma may be lacking in items, they make up for in spirit, as they are determined to find the fort. Speaking of which, didn't I get to the fort pretty fast? How was Gamma not run into the fortress? It was only a couple bells away. Ah, it's because Gamma had left in the wrong direction for the fort. Their effort to travel this terrain so far had all been in vain. But they still had hope, and they pyrate for a new spawner. Maybe they could find a different fort. They begin to tunnel into the wall. Unfortunately, this is where the replay ends, but I have confirmation they made it to the next spawner. See, the spawner they pyrate was actually a treasure bastion, and in it lay the protection for diamond pants, which while I was in the stronghold, I saw them get the achievement, confirming they had made it that far. Alas, this is where my knowledge of Gamma's journey comes to a close. The 30-minute limit on the replay mod means we can't go any further. Now, we return to the hero's journey, beating the game with only a bow. The final section of the stronghold and end. As some of you may recall, I struggled with this portion during the Great Beacon split, with an 11-minute stronghold nap, and 50 missed arrows in the end fight. This is my chance to redeem myself, a chance to show that I have good aim, and that I can navigate a stronghold in a success- I didn't. I entered the stronghold at 20 minutes. I didn't find the portal room until 45 minutes. That means I spent 25 minutes in the stronghold. I shot over 32 arrows to deal with mobs, and halfway through I ran out of food and health, so with the 10 extra obsidian, I built another nether portal to teleport back to the nether so I could head back to the overworld, so I could go back to the village, steal a bed so I can set my spawn in the stronghold, and get a load more food from the village. At 15 minutes in the stronghold, even my opponent started to question my sanity. I even crafted a sword to break cobwebs to make a second bow because I was worried about the durability of my first bow. So why was the stronghold so hard? Well, let me give you a chance to navigate it yourself before I spoil the answer. The seed and the coordinates to teleport to are in the description of the video. Good luck and happy hunting! See, normally to find the portal room quickly, speedrunners use a strategy called preemptive, watching their pie chart for the orange spike. This is because they are looking for the silver spawner, which is inside the portal room. However, in my stronghold there was not one, not two, but 3 spawners, all of which were messing with my preemptive. Not to mention that the portal room was 12 rooms away, which according to the Boolean graph only has a 1.6% chance of happening. Now, there's going to be some speedrunner in the comments who instead of beating it in 25 minutes found it in 25 seconds. So to defend what little is left of my honor, the path to the portal room was filled with mobs in my run, and at some point I became really concerned with the amount of arrows I had left, still knowing that I needed a good chunk to beat the dragon. So I was trying to avoid mobs as much as possible, also out of fear I might accidentally damage one of them. Well, now I've entered the end, and I have one last cool strategy to show off. If you try to kill the dragon with a bow normally, it takes quite a long time. After you shoot down all the crystals, it will perch quite often and become immune to any range damage for extended periods of time, let alone that often it will fly very high and become quite hard to actually get in range of. To counter that, I was building hundreds of blocks into the sky. I shot down all the towers except for one. And I didn't have the arrows remaining to keep shooting at that last cage tower, so I made the call to build up all the way to height limit, using nearly every last block in my inventory to reach there. After I was at height limit, I placed a block over the bedrock portal, hundreds of blocks below me. This makes it so when the dragon flies into perch, it starts flying all the way up to the top to go on top of that block. During that time while it's flying is my time to strike. But I had done it. I had won a ranked match using only a bow. An incredible achievement. Psst, hey, don't lie to your viewers. What? I don't know what you mean. Show them the truth. Wait. They don't need to see this clip. Don't. Stop, look away. No! Yes, that's right. Like a weakling, I had used a pickaxe to attack a creeper and had broken the rules of the challenge. I had failed. The cherry on top? After the game, Gamma IT had mentioned that they had their point of view, but the lobby ended before I could ask more, so I spent the next 6 hours trying to search for a way to contact them. I checked YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, many Discords. I even put a lost puppy type post in the official ranked Discord. I tried sniping them in queue, but had no luck. I contemplated scrapping the video for a while, but I decided I would push through and create my own rendition of Gamma's heroic journey. I hope you found this video entertaining, and if it was, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in seeing more of my opponent's gameplay throughout these videos. The Worlds of Iron is a wondrous place, and I have a bunch of clips of myself doing pretty dumb things, and games where my opponents have their own misadventures. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching.